sun back there. It's getting heavy. The sun's pretty huge, you know. Anyway, so those are the 4 seasons with the axis pointed in this direction. But I told you I was going to show you why you can't simply memorize the 4 earths in this pattern, because if I take these away and I put them over here and I get out my other earths, my other 4 earths, I showed you this image earlier. Now what I want you to do is look at the axis for each picture. They're all pointed towards the right, okay? If I'm facing the board, it's towards the right. If I'm looking at it, it's still on the right. So the axis is leaning to the right. So I told you the first thing I want you to do is find the axis and then find the picture where the axis is pointed towards the sun. Which one is that? Some of you guessed it right. It's this one right here. This axis is tilted towards the sun. So what season is that? That would be the summer solstice, and it starts on June 21st. Now when we're talking about seasons, and we're just talking one-on-one together, I may not say northern hemisphere, but if I don't specifically specify southern hemisphere, I'm always going to be referring to the northern hemisphere. So if I point to this picture and I say, what season is this, Katie? Then Katie might say, well, the axis is pointed towards the sun, so it's summer. And then I'm going to say, what's summer's last name, Katie? And she's going to say, summer solstice. And then I may even ask her, what day is the first day of summer solstice? And she'll say, duh, Miss Sheffield, it's June 21st. And I'll be like, yes, you got that right. And then I might ask somebody else, what season follows summer? Or I could say, if this is summer solstice, what is the opposite season over here? Opposite of summer solstice is winter solstice. Very good. Oh my gosh, I want to tell y'all something I just realized. Without even doing it on purpose, you know how summers are really hot? Look at the color of that clip. It's red. Doesn't red mean hot? Look at winter. Winter's usually cold. Look at the color of that clip. Blue. Purely coincidental. But I'll just say I'm a genius. Anyway, so this is summer solstice because the axis is tilted towards the sun. The opposite of summer solstice is winter solstice, where the axis is tilted away from the sun in the northern hemisphere. December 21st is the first day of winter solstice. So if you can get that part down, then you just need to remember what seasons come in between summer and winter and summer. So again, we're revolving what direction around the sun? Counterclockwise. Very good. So what season follows summer solstice? That would be the autumnal equinox. You might want to think, if seasons are hard for you to remember the right order, you could come up with an acronym. Like, take the first letter of each season and come up with a sentence, kind of like we did with the layers of the atmosphere. So you might want to say, summer always was vigorous for vernal. That was a weird one. You can come up with your own. You don't have to start with summer. You can start with any of the ones you want to. You can even Google a way to remember the seasons in order and see what pops up. And then tell me in the comments section of my activity feed on eClass. excuse me. So if autumnal equinox comes after summer solstice, look at the dates. The dates also match up. Doesn't September come after June? So you could remember it that way. September is always fall. It's getting a little bit cooler. Fall is cooler, but cooler than summer, but it's not as cold as winter. So again, knowing your months in order, knowing your seasons in order, very helpful. So if this is autumnal equinox, the only other place for vernal is right up here. The vernal equinox is on this side. So if you took a snapshot of the previous image where I had the different earths up here, and then you compare it to this one, you might notice that everything is flipped. It's flipped on top and bottom, and it's flipped on the two sides of the sun. So again, this is why you can't simply remember one image, okay? Now, let's use this one to talk about direct sunlight versus indirect sunlight. We've already kind of talked about it. You've seen some good videos about it as well, but I want to just remind you, when the axis is tilted towards the sun on summer solstice, the entire northern hemisphere where we live is getting the most direct sunlight. So that means we have longer days and shorter nights. Now, when I say longer days, I don't mean longer than 24 hours. I mean the number of daylight hours is more than we have in the winter. That's why summer is most often people's favorite seasons, especially if you're young like you guys are, because when you wake up, the sun's up. When you go to bed, some of you, the sun might still be up. The sun may still be a little sliver in the sky. There might still be a little bit of light out at 10 o'clock at night. Whereas if you are awake at 10 o'clock at night right now, it's pitch black outside. Okay? But we're getting closer to the autumnal equinox where we have 12 hours of daylight and then 12 hours of nighttime. It's equal day, equal night. Okay, and then we're starting to work our way towards shorter daylight hours in the winter solstice and longer nighttime hours. This is a lot of people's least favorite season because you can't play outside as long because it gets dark at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And then you wake up and it might be light in the morning depending on what time you get up. But you can't play outside as long with light in the winter as you can in the summer. So summer solstice, longer days, shorter nights. Winter solstice, shorter days, longer nights. And then both of the equinoxes are equal day and equal night. You're going to need to remember that because it's going to be on your quiz. It's going to be on your test. You need to remember the 21st of each of these months. Now, realistically speaking, if you were to Google first day of vernal equinox or first day of autumnal equinox, these dates can be anywhere for each of these 4 days, can be anywhere from the 20th of the month to the 23rd of the month. But to make it easy for you guys, I want you to just remember the 21st. Okay, it's always going to be the 21st. That number will never change, but you need to learn. September goes with autumn, December goes with winter, March goes with vernal, which is spring, and June obviously goes with summer. Okay, so that is your seasons review. Look over the videos that I've posted. Go back over the Nearpod if you need to. If you want some more videos or you need some more practice, then you can Google Seasons Interactive, and a bunch of things will pop up. I'll try to put some more stuff on eClass, but I think I'm only going to put more resources on eClass if someone asks me to. because I want to make sure you guys are staying engaged with all of your lessons. I understand you have a lot of work to do. I understand some of you don't have parent support at home during the school day, and you might have to wait till nighttime to do all of your lessons. And I'm sorry for that, but we can all only do the best we can do. So I want you to keep in mind that you are going to be getting a graded quiz on Friday that will go in the grade book. And for every week we're out of school, you'll have at least one graded assignment, and they will go in the grade book, and you probably won't have an opportunity to make them up once you get back to school, because I'm afraid if we're out through March 31st, we'll be heading into, I don't know if they'll, I'm assuming they'll give us our spring break, but I don't know. I don't want to say too much. That's to come later. But please study. Please do your reviews. I'm sorry I'm not there to give you notes that you can put in your notebook. There are resources on my e-class page under content for the Earth and Moon unit. After we learn seasons, we're going to talk about moon phases, and then we'll get into the difference in gravity and inertia. But right now, focus on rotation and revolution and seasons, and I will see you later. Take care.